Well, there was another drone strike by U.S. forces which killed a whole bunch of people, which is nothing new. In this particular case, according to 3 different independent agencies investigating it, the building that they struck was a well-known mosque. They were holding a lecture, which the United States called a gathering of terrorists. It killed over 38 civilians, and the investigation shows that the intelligence basically was flawed in the fact that the U.S. didn't seem to recognize that this building was a mosque and didn't recognize that they held regular lectures on Thursday, and the fact that they then used Hellfire missiles to shoot at the civilians that were running from the mosque. You have to ask yourself a question. If somebody did that in the United States, what would the reaction from Americans be? Let's just say for a moment that Mexico decided it was going to pursue criminals that had fled into the United States. Not likely, but let's just say they did, for argument's sake. Let's say that a helicopter pursuing those criminals came to a church. Whether or not they verified that the criminals went into the church, let's just say that they fired at this church meeting on maybe a Friday night or a Wednesday night. There just happened to be some kind of gathering going on in that building, and they blew it up. And then there were some civilians or some people running from the church, and they shot them down with Hellfire missiles. How would Americans react to that? Do you think they'd be a little angry at Mexico for having done that? The reason I ask this, you see, because for whatever reason, Americans seem to give a pass to the military and to military leaders for killing civilians as collateral damage, which is a terrible term because it implies that somehow it's okay to kill non-combatants as long as you didn't intentionally target them. Now, in this case, they did intentionally target them. They just allegedly didn't know that this was a mosque that they were blowing up. Now, whether this is a failure of intelligence or whether this is a failure of a system which allows somebody who's nowhere near the action to look through a little video screen and, like he's playing a video game, shoot down the bad guys without being able to clearly see who it is that he's shooting down. I think that's problematic as well. There's so many issues with this. I just want to throw it out there that maybe it's time to rethink the way in which we conduct our warfare, to include whether or not we should even be involved in Syria. That's my 2 cents. If you'd like to engage me on this, or if you have a reason that I'm wrong about this, that it's perfectly okay to blow up mosques, please send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com. I'd love to engage you on that.